Today on How to Film, we're going to take a quick look at an animation software called Adobe Character Animator.
This is how to film a YouTube video or anything.
Hey guys, just to let you know right off the top, this is not a tutorial. This is more of an introduction to Character Animator, just to let you know that such a thing as Character Animator exists. So if you're looking to do some kind of simple animation and you don't know the first thing about animation, Adobe Character Animator may be an option for you. Now let's just take a look at an animation that I made earlier.
So me and Jordan, we went to New York. On Coney Island, we were in line for this roller coaster called Thunderbolt, and it's this huge roller coaster that goes so straight up.
Okay, pretty good. This actually looks a lot more complicated than it is. It's just a simple still background and a couple characters. My advice is if you want to start animating, keep it simple. You want the simplest characters that you can possibly get when you're starting out. Now, Character Animator is a program that comes free with After Effects. So if you already have After Effects Creative Cloud, then you also have access to Character Animator as well. Another program you're going to want to use closely is Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. Both of those programs will integrate with Character Animator nicely. Now, just to give you an idea what's going on, let's go ahead and open up Photoshop here. And I'm just going to make a very, very simple character. So let's just pick the ellipse tool. Let's pick a nice color. We're going to make a circle. Hold the shift key down to make it perfect. Then I'm going to switch colors. And I'm going to make an eyeball. Hold the shift down again. Okay, let's change the color to black. And then let's duplicate this. And then let's name it eye. And let's duplicate it by hitting Command J or Control J on a PC. And then we'll slide it over. That way our eyes are nice and even. Now let's just go ahead and make a straight line for a mouth. Let me change the height of the pixels to something, let's try 25. Oops, okay, tilted it a little, straighten that back out. Okay, so now we just have a basic simple face, no motion or anything. What we need to do now is create another mouth so that he can open and close his mouth, and that will simulate speaking. So let's grab the ellipse tool and draw another mouth about where his current mouth is. Get it right in the center. And now we have an open mouth and a closed mouth, and that is just the simplest animation that you could possibly have. As you get more familiar with it, you can start to make more mouth shapes, and that'll give you a more accurate speech. But with this open mouth and closed mouth, we can get a basic idea of what Character Animator is going to do. One of the things you need to do is label the layers correctly so the animator can recognize them. It involves putting a plus sign in front of some of the moving parts. Adobe has some really awesome tutorials if you want to delve deeper into it. I'm obviously not going into much detail here. I'm just going to skip ahead of that and let's go ahead and open up Character Animator. Oh, before we open Character Animator, we need to save this file. Just save it somewhere where you can find it. Let's just call it Greenhead. And let's save it as a Photoshop file and put it in a place where we can find it. I'm just going to put it in my folder called Little Artwork so I know where to look for it. Okay, now we can go over to Character Animator. Let's open that up. And then let's go ahead and import our file. Now you just drag that file, Greenhead, down to the timeline, and there it appears. And oops, there's no eyes, which means I labeled the eyes improperly. Let me just go back into Photoshop real quick, because now actually Character Animator will interact on somewhat of a live basis with Photoshop. If I go back to Photoshop and make changes and I save the changes, then Character Animator will automatically update. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I had the eyes in the wrong place. Let's move them up where they show up, and watch this. Pretty nifty. Auto updates. And here it comes. Okay. Now we have our little green face. And the beauty of Character Animator is that we can build our character, and once that's the hard work, once you have that, it will actually, Character Animator has some facial recognition technology where it just looks at the camera and tries to mimic your facial motions. So let me turn on the camera, and there I am. Okay, so now see how the head's following me when I twist it? And I turn on the mic, and look at that. He's trying to speak as I speak. So all he has is open and closed, and you see the eyes are blinking on their own. So it's kind of a neat little program. That's the gist of it. And then, of course, you can build more complex characters. You can put backgrounds in. To start out with, keep it simple. Now this is pretty crude, but as you can see, it has potential. I wanted to start messing around with animation, so I started digging into Character Animator a little bit. And here's a few of the characters that I've created so far. Okay, this is Tommy Wiseau from The Room. I think you recognize this guy from those 1970s cartoons. This is my Liam Neeson.
I don't know who you are, but I'm Liam Neeson.
And you probably recognize this guy from that sci-fi movie. Anyway, that's Character Animator in a nutshell. Just kind of a brief overview, introduction to it. Keep an eye out for my animations. I'm going to start messing around with it a little bit. In fact, if you look in the comments, I put a link to that first cartoon that we showed you at the beginning. And when I get my website built, I may even start to give out some of these characters free so that you can just plug them into Character Animator and use them yourself. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, that's all we have time for today. I'm Jeff McClellan. This is Grasshopper Cinema and how to film a YouTube video or anything. I will see you next time.